Right. So welcome to your practice. Find a position where we can enter a place of stillness. I had a wonderful conversation with a fellow yogi today who pursues the devotional path, bhakti yoga. And we're really, when we sit like this, we're really practicing, at least the way we sit, the way we meditate. We're pursuing jnana yoga, this idea of wisdom, or that there's this knowing that we can settle into. And settling into that knowing that we are one, that our small I is illusory, and the burdens of that small I, the ego, they're not really harming us. That the real I, the real self, is unaffected, unharmed, at ease, and at peace. We're trying to know that, to directly experience it, into sort of wisdom, a knowing. But in the meantime, as we cross that distance from the ego I to the real I, it's an imaginary distance, by the way. But as we come to understand that distance, there is some level of trust, love, or even faith in the teachings until we arrive at it with a sort of certainty that only comes from directly experiencing something. As if someone could try to convince you the sky was green, you could easily, confidently tell them, no, it is in fact blue. That kind of knowing, you can directly know it's blue. And we can directly know the real I, the real self, is not harmed, not affected, not burdened, but it's ever free, still and quiet. And that still quietness, it's witnessing, it's watching this and appreciating this beautiful fiction, this beautiful narrative of life unfold, come and go. That's what we're doing here. We're arriving into that knowing, into that understanding that we're almost cradling. What we really are is cradling, holding this life, this unfoldment, gently, like a dream, a weightlessness to it. You see, the small I, the ego I, does not see this life as a light thing. This can be kind of a burden, heavy, troublesome. And so you can imagine, and I imagine you all experience, that there's a distance then from heavy to light, from uncertain to knowing, from the ego I to the real I. How do we measure that distance? It's in our ability to find ease and love around the teachings. And this is sort of a devotion to our own personal practice, a willingness, a yearning to discover how it is true, to put the effort of our ego and mind into uncovering that truth. It takes takes a lot of love and trust to show up for it on a regular basis. So when we sit quietly, whether we say we choose to sit quietly or we start to realize that we are compelled to sit quietly, we're taking time to understand. We're not memorizing the teachings. There's no vocabulary quiz. Remember vocabulary quizzes? You had to learn the word and you had to learn the definition. You take a quiz and you match the definitions up with the words. And at least the way it went for me is the next day, heck, 15 minutes later, the next class, I forgot what the words mean. I never really bothered to understand the words. I was just memorizing. But to understand this work, the non-dual awakening process of knowing the real I, there's nothing to memorize. There's no quiz to see if you've got it or not. There's just what you've got right here. There's just this present moment experience. And when you observe this present moment experience, do you experience yourself as this quiet watcher appreciating the life that is unfolding and flowing through the moment? The only one who will ever tell you that you are is you. What a potent knowing that would be. To have that inner knowing, that inner solidarity. I'm at peace. I'm at ease. I'm unaffected, even as this beautiful dance of life that I'm witnessing turns and turns and turns. When you hear your thoughts layering themselves on this moment, trying to convince you that moments of the past and moments of the future, that they matter, remember, they don't matter. They're not matter. This is matter. This is material. But your thoughts are fictions. They're immaterial. They're thoughts. And they only affect as much as you believe they affect. They only distort as much as you let them distort. We let them distort our vision of ourself by getting lost inside of them, by letting them feel real. But the real is now. The real is this. And it's not affected. It's not disturbed. It takes very, very little effort, maybe no effort at all, to exist right now. It's thoughts. Thoughts tell us we have to do something to exist. This jnana yoga is about understanding the impact the thoughts are having, to uncover and unlearn. Part of the bhakti, part of the trust, part of the love of this work is to take a moment to assume it's true. A little bit of faith. Assume it's true that you already are what you are. You already have the knowledge of what you are. If you just give a little bit of, I'm going to try it. I'm going to stop pretending I don't have it. That's the leap. That's the distance. Is to consider that you've just been pretending you don't have it. You don't know. like the snap of your fingers. You just shift your stance. I already am what I am. I know I am the self and not the ego. It opens up this space where you can then almost see the fictions of the ego, the pasts and futures, flowing out and into the moment, and then away again. And there you are the whole time, watching, undisturbed. Try it. Keep trusting and just shift. Start to know you've just been pretending you were the ego. You already are the unbothered, the untouched, the unaffected, real self, quietly abiding as nature, in your nature, right now, and always. Let it shift the mood, let it shift the air. And you'll feel the weights of those thoughts get lighter and lighter. It is easy to argue that the sky is blue when you are looking at a blue sky. When you have seen a blue sky countless times. If for some reason you tried to tell yourself it was green, you would not be fooled. But if you hadn't seen the blue sky in years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you hadn't seen the blue sky, and someone came and told you it's green, you may waver for a moment or more. The sky would still be blue, but your knowing would waver. That is what we are doing right now. We are looking at the blue sky so that we become unwavering. Stop pretending the sky is green and stop pretending you're the ego. You can stop pretending that the thoughts have weight to them. They're just like wisps in the wind, in the breeze, floating by. And you are still and open and free, like the sky, not affected by the wisps that move through. Just know it. You can know it very, very well. You can deepen the knowing. You can amplify the stillness until the thoughts are so light they almost never touch down. You can magnify the steadiness, the stillness of being the real self until any moment, every moment is just this gentle story flowing through you like a dream. This is where every heart will end up. To practice jnana yoga means your heart is close, very close. Just stop pretending that you are the ego. When you tell yourself, it can't be that simple, it's been so long, the progress seems so slow, I'm not sure if it's real or just another good story. Every one of those statements is just the ego, just thoughts, just narratives. And we give them weight and they feel heavy because we believe in them. It's that simple. Like a child afraid of a boogeyman, of the monster under the bed, afraid to get out of bed. There's nothing really there, just the weight of the belief. You can remove it. Or you can let it stay. But there will never be a monster under the bed. And there will never be an ego, just thoughts we believe in. You are the absence of those thoughts. You are what remains. You are what does not come and go. It's okay. If the thoughts come in, you watch their story, they make you think about you, the little ego you. It's not a problem. It can be nice. It can be delightful, joyful to play in that storyline, to hold it in your awareness. Just when it ends, let it end. Remember the stillness. Don't lock yourself into transient things. Thoughts are very transient. Stories are transient. But the quiet, present watcher, it doesn't move. It doesn't go anywhere. Ever. That's why it's you. Because you're there the whole time. How could you be the coming and going, transient stories if you stay still the whole time? You're the constant. Just know it. Stop pretending otherwise. It would feel obvious. even as you journey down a story of the ego, realize you didn't go anywhere. You considered a green sky for a little while, but the blue sky stayed the whole time. And now that you're looking again, can you see it? The blue sky, the vastness of what you really are? Even when you journey down the ego's stories of green sky, then you remember. You stop pretending, and there it is, blue. There you are, vast, free, unaffected. You can relax your body, digest your experience.